Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So we're continuing the testing. Today we'll be testing out the large ship turrets. Now there's 3 of these turrets available to us, and something I know from being in a lot of Space Engineers combat situations, it's very important to know the capabilities of your weapon systems, what weapon systems should be employed in certain battles, and what should apply for different types of ships. So we're going to go over the strengths and weaknesses of these turrets today, and we'll get a bit more of a hands-on approach. And we'll also have a look at some damage stats. So first up, let's talk about these turrets. What do they all have in common? They have some abilities that a lot of players really do take for granted, and the first one I'm going to show you is the zoom feature. Now, it sounds really simple, this, and it is really simple. If you go into your cockpit and you get control of an interior turret, so let's just get the interior instead of the missile, we grab control. If we look around the star box here, you'll notice that there is a number of different asteroids. But are they all asteroids? Well, the zoom feature will allow us to check these out. So yep, they're clearly asteroids. Let's have a look at this. That's an asteroid, but that's not an asteroid, that's a ship. So you can use this to recon the way ahead and have a look at asteroids and ships that may be waiting in ambush disguised as parts of the environment. So that's just the first little tip that I can give you. You can use this on all the turrets. The second bit is the range. So all the turrets are limited to 800 meters. There is a bit of iffiness with the interior turret. Some claim it only can reach out to 400, but it seems to do damage at 800 as well. Now the next thing is the loading windows. This particular turret has a very distinct disadvantage to the others. It cannot be loaded via sort of conveyors, so we have to manually come to the back, open up this slot and insert the ammunition into there. The other 2 turrets, in case the conveyor system goes down, that is on the bottom of this platform, you can access this box at the front and dump ammunition into it, and that's both available on the missile turret and the Gatling turret there as well. So enough of that. Let's have a look at the individual statistics. So the first thing is the interior turret will do 12 damage to the character per shot. So it'll take quite a few shots to actually kill you. So when you're patrolling around interiors, you can take 1 or 2 shots from these guys and live to fight another day if you're careful. Now moving on to the Gatling gun, this does a considerably lot more. It does 60 damage, so 2 of the shots from this guy and you are dead. Finally, the missile launcher, if it hits you, you are pretty much a dead guy unless you're on the outer limit of its blast radius. Now moving down the list a little bit further, let's have a look how much damage they do to blocks. So in front of us we have got as a standard light armored block, and I've got this control panel up here, I may as well use it. So we actually activate a single shot, and I've completely missed the target because I moved the interior turret when I was doing the previous test. So we're going to have to pop back down there, gain control through the tab, aim that at the center, and we'll fire 1 single shot. So that's 1 single shot at light armor block, and if we get our welder out, we'll see how much damage it did to it. So it's done 2%. It's taken us down to 98, and at this particular stage you can still buff the armor back up because it hasn't destroyed any of the interior components. So let's attempt to fire a few more. So let's fire a wave of 5 shots. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's have a look at what it's done with 5 shots. So it's only eliminated 1 steel plate and it's gone down to 94. So it isn't really the best way of engaging other large ships, this guy. But at a pinch, it can do some damage. The only issue is if you wanted to multiply the firepower and take up the same amount of space, a 3x3x3, with these guys you could do, and you'd have a lot more firepower, but you just simply wouldn't be able to feed it because there is no connectors available. Now next up we have the Gatling Gun Turret, 600 rounds per minute. This guy is great for intercepting fighters, perfect for taking out any pesky engineers that are approaching your vessel, and just a really great all-around defense. If you're not too sure on what to have, Gatling guns or missile launchers, it's always better to play it safe because Gatling guns will always help out in a multi-role sort of environment. Anyway, let's fire a single shot. So that's a single shot and it's hit that block, nice smack bang. Compared to the other shot, you'll notice it's done a lot more damage to the actual block. It's dinted it considerably more. That was 5 shots into that. That was a single shot. Let's have a see what it's taking it down to. So it's taking it down to 94. Let's weld that back up. Let's see how many components it's actually taken off as well. So it's taken off 1 steel plate. So let's weld that block back up and we'll fire a volley of 5. Remember, the rate of fire is incredibly fast on this guy, so it would do a lot more damage. So this is 5 shots into it. You can see the dent that is actually put into this block. So it's taken away all the top amount and it's become pretty much unfunctional, this block. It won't take too much more before it's penetrated. Now another thing to remember with all these turrets is that a decoy block will change their fire. Whatever happens to them, if there's a decoy block alive on that ship, they have to target that first, so you can use that really strategically. So let's continue on. Now we've got the missile launcher. Now the missile launcher fires 6 shots in volleys and then has a short reload window. And what I've got here, just to see the blast damage effect, a massive panel over there of the light armored steel. So let's actually fire 1 shot. Okay, so you can see the light armored steel has not actually been penetrated, but you can see it's been bent. And if we actually have a look at the central block that is damaged, you can see the damage actually spreads out from that point. But it's very interesting how it damages these blocks, because you can see the actual center block that it hit is still got quite a lot of damage going on to it. But you can see as it feathers out, we've got various different points of damage between 100, 78%, 80%. So not too bad in total. Let's fire 1 more round and see if we can achieve penetration onto that armor block. So 1 more rocket. Let's see what we've got here. Still no penetration into the armor. Let's try another. So we're looking for one of these light armor blocks to be completely destroyed. So that's 3 rocket rounds into the light armor. And yes, it is losing steel plates as we look around these areas, but there's 1 down to 18. So that one is most likely going to be the culprit. Let's really watch this rocket as we fire it this time. We'll set up the spectator, so as it destroys. Something I tested out a long time ago with these missiles as well is sometimes if you tilt the armor, it does deflect it ever so slightly. So there's the camera. So we're going to hit the missile and switch to the camera really fast like so. So has that achieved penetration? No. Maybe 1 more round will do it. Okay, so you can see the damage is being spread out among that blast area, and we've still not managed to damage a block completely enough to gain access in the inside. So if we do that, you can see it's holding on for dear life with about 3 or 4. So a whole volley of missiles from this rocket launcher wouldn't achieve penetration if they all hit 1 point. But usually the missile launchers vary between targets of importance. So let's just shoot that last round and we should have a penetration. There we go. So just over volley, about 7 shots. Nearly 8 shots to have a successful penetration, I would go with. And once it's got that hole in, obviously we could attempt to breach in through there. But you can see the missile launcher has some advantages, but the Gatling gun could chew a hole in the armor much quicker. So for instance, if I just reset this and I'll set a nice big target like that for the Gatling gun. So we just placed that target in front of the Gatling gun, and this time we're just going to set the thing to fire and we'll see how quickly we get inside there. So there we go, we're in. That's as simple as it is. You can see that yes, it's not doing that larger blast area that the missile turret did do, but it managed to penetrate with them Gatling gun rounds extremely quickly, extremely efficiently. That's why in my opinion, I'd rather have more Gatling guns aboard a ship, especially due to that multi-role capability. Let's test out them multi-roles. Let's have a go and see if they can intercept some missiles and asteroids. All things that the missile turret can do as well, but since that slow rate of fire of the missile launcher, it's going to be very difficult for it to intercept another missile or hit another asteroid, especially a small ship. So for this next test, we've set ourselves up a Gatling gun turret. We've got ourselves an enemy missile launcher out there that's going to be firing some missiles at this platform that it's on. Now I want to see if a single Gatling gun turret, or how many Gatling gun turrets would be required to eliminate incoming missiles successfully. Okay, now we're setting into the Great Tarantulas, and missiles are already incoming. Okay, let's have a look if it intercepts the missiles. No, total failure of the missile interception. Yes, it intercepted 1. I saw it intercept 1 of that total amount. So how many more Gatling guns are we going to need to have a successful infiltration? It seems like even if the missile gets past that particular point, so you can see how the missile's going past, it's tracking the other missiles. Now the power's been taken out, that's why that missile shut down. Let's add a good variety to each one of these stations. So now we have a total of 6 Gatling guns. Now in my opinion, this should be able to intercept the missiles. If it's not, then the missiles are pretty damn effective in that category if they're able to get past the only way you can defend against them. So if we quickly pop ourselves back over to our character who's here, and we convert this guy into a little bit of a moving grid, so we're up very shortly. There we go, we've got incoming missiles. Are they intercepting? Fail, fail. absolutely god-awful at intercepting their missiles. And here comes the second volley, their second chance. They're intercepting, the percentage is so low, I wouldn't even call it a percentage. Let's see if they get a little bit better. No, failure after failure. The missiles are just going too fast for them, and that's directly on. So let's see if they can intercept a few more. There's one intercepted, two intercepted. So 3 missiles intercepted out of 4 volleys, and our missile turret's now engaging that missile turret, so it should be ended pretty quickly. So what I can see with this is probably really not that useful to have the missile turret interception even on, because if you decide to turn that missile interception on, it's simply going to distract your turrets from targeting the enemy's ship. And you can see that it's even got that distracted now that the missiles are facing a totally different direction and intercepting them as they come past. How very interesting, very strange results. We're going to have to probably test it a few more times to see how they stuck firing. Anyway, let's continue testing. So the next thing I wanted to demonstrate is evading these missiles. Now, evading these missiles as a small ship is very easy. Evading them as a character is very easy indeed. Where it comes into some issues is if you slow your speed too much. Now, God, what's going on with that legs? There's something really going crazy with there. It looks like we're doing some sort of side disco step. Probably because we've been hit by the missile a few times. But you can see it's no problem at all. We can approach a missile launcher very effectively. They will hit you if as soon as I stand a little bit still like this, with my legs at a really crooked angle. Wow, that all went right between my legs. That's great. Lovely. But you can see we can approach the missile launcher. We will get deterred. The closer we get to it is a little bit harder for us to actually reach. But as a small ship, if we fly straight past this guy, the missiles are really no concern to us, where the Gatling guns would definitely have a lot more problem. Anyway, we'll place a Gatling gun. You can see that we're actually below its radar sort of range, or its turn radius. So now you can see just how effective this is. This is clipping me in pretty much every other shot. If I'm a fighter, let's just do a demonstration. I'll fly past at maximum speed and you'll still see it'll land shots on me. Where these are not as effective are at longer ranges, but if I fly towards it, the closer I get, the more effective that turret is going to be. And there's no real way of out-turning this guy. It is damn fast. Its reload time will give you a little few seconds, but apart from that, you are going to get absolutely shredded, small ship included, if you approach one of these Gatling Gun turrets. Of course, the aiming radius is the same as the other one. You can get below it, but it will continue to track you as you move around into that section. And if we do go directly above, there is really not too much of a blind spot on this guy. We can get right above the thing and it'll still hammer us with Gatling gun fire. So that's something to definitely think of when you're approaching or trying to target one of these guys. So the final things in this test I want to remind you about turrets is that they can have some serious issues. The main one is targeting your own ship. For instance, if your ship has a part that's attached by a rotor, or you have a small ship connected to it, you can have a situation where the machine gun or the missile launcher will try to fire through it. The other problem with them is if you decide to engage the target that's flying between friendly vessels. The missile turret, the Gatling guns, the bullets will just continue to fire past them, and you could end up destroying or doing some critical damage to an enemy ship. So there's some thoughts to take into consideration when using these large ship turrets. And remember, that small interior turret is still pretty damn effective at deterring intruders into your vessels, so don't forget to stick some of them down. Anyway, let's thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.